Blunt Cuts is a podcast fueled by creativity, curiosity, and empowerment. We cut through the daily mess of life. This is unfiltered honesty. Park your passive at the door. This is Blunt Cuts. Welcome to Blunt Cuts. I'm CJ, and please welcome to the studio, Melissa Miller, stylist to the stars. Definitely this star. She's my longtime stylist and unpaid therapist. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're finally here because you've heard me talk about Blunt Cuts so much from the beginning. And yeah, I think you're a big part of this because I'm a commitment to brand. And when we were thinking about the name for this, I had just cut my hair. And I don't know if you even know, but that plays a role into the name of Blunt Cuts. We're like, we want something short and sweet. And then I had just got a blunt bob and I'm like, blunt, that's it.
Short and sweet.
It is what it is. It's just my signature now. I can never leave it. But yeah, I want to kind of dive in with you on that idea of finding that signature style for your clients. And I know not everybody comes in wanting a signature style, and they're chameleons who every time want a different cut. But I really want to dive into like what you see and the changes you see in people when they do get that cut. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about you and who you are and kind of how you got to where you are.
Well, thank you. Yes, I have been a hairstylist now for like 15 years, and I cannot believe it's gone that fast and that far. And I love what I do. Always wanted to be a hairstylist. So thankful that I get to play that dream out. And I love the clientele that I built. And I say I built it because it took a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of money to put into myself to build a clientele where I really feel like they're more friends. I get to come to work and I get to talk all day and catch up with people, as well as, be in the highs and the lows of all their life, that journeys that it brings them. And so it's really a blessing to be a hairstylist. It really is. And I think through all this, everybody realized how important hairstylists really are.
Yeah, I think our journey of being at home, when I had to take out some clippers to cut my son and husband's hair, I'm like, yeah, this is a whole nother level of appreciation for Mel that she doesn't even know.
Oh, absolutely. I heard a lot of them and I got a lot of great videos from them. Quarantine life too.
Exactly. Like that's all we can do is laugh, right? But I think you have been missed, and I have missed having those conversations, and I'm one of the few that's been back in through your doors. And I think that it's so important, and you don't realize how integral your like hairstylist is as a part of your life.
No, I totally agree. No, and I especially love that I get to work with clientele, and get to hear their story, even more importantly. So it's been fun. And especially, sharing your journey with Blunt Cuts and now being a part of it is just another piece of, that puzzle that is really exciting too.
So should we talk about my hair journey? I think everyone probably doesn't care, but we can talk about it anyway. Because we've done a lot of random things.
Well, I think what's interesting about your hair journey that a lot of people can relate to is that at first you were forced to not be able to change it too much, right?
Right. So, being in the modeling and acting space, like I had a look, and it's very expensive to change your hair because A, you have to get your agency approval, but then B, you have to do photographs for your portfolio all over again.
And I think
so it's just
so many people can relate to that.
You just can't change it. So yeah.
Yeah. Those that work, in a higher profession where they have to have a more, modern look or a more natural look, and, that they want to change, but they have to have, just very slight changes in order to be acceptable. A lot of people can relate to that. So even your journey, I think for many is relatable, although they may not be a model that they're having to, address that. They're having to address the people within their lives, whether it be their boss or maybe as a mom, they want to have that mom feel. So I think it really comes down to that person and who they are and what they're looking to get out of their hairstyle to kind of give them a good reflection.
So we went with extensions because you are the go-to easy hair pro person in my life and in town. But yeah, we did some tape and extensions, which I absolutely loved. That was a fun journey, but it just never really felt like me. Mm-hmm. And I think we realized that at one point where I was just like, that's it. take it, cut it, go. Do
Oh,
something different. Let's find it. I trust you.
I
Go.
don't know if you remember, Christina, I made you wait like twice before we actually chopped it. It was either twice or once. It was on the second come around. I was like, are you really going to chop it? Like we were talking about it and I wouldn't let you do it. I was scared. I was like, she's always had long hair. This is,
No, yeah, I do
this is.
remember. And it's good because there have also been times I've asked for bangs, which I've told you in contract, do never let me cut bangs ever again. Contractually, Mel can't let me cut bangs. So,
No, no. But when I remember as soon as we chopped it, it was like, yes, it was so you and everything. It's you put your glasses on and it was like, yep, here she is. This is definitely Christina's look.
yeah, I mean, and I think, okay, it's hair, right? Like we're really getting into like something here. Oftentimes on book cuts, we're digging really deep into life and life's moments, right? Well, this seemingly unimportant thing really was my identity. And I think that the moment that I was, I was developing this podcast, doing the brand, coming up with what's it going to be about, I was really redefining like what I wanted out of my work and creative life. And because I'm doing 80 billion things, I was trying to focus in on like what's important to me and women being so important to me. And this idea of like I am a blunt and bold person and I want to share that with the world and share my perspective and opinions and have other opinionated people come on. And all of that was happening at the same time of this hair journey. And it was just a defining moment for me. And I've never felt more myself. Maybe it's because of all the exploration, but I think the hair was like the punctuation. It was like the period on, yes, this is me. Now I'm me. Here I am. Take it or fucking leave it. And like it was just the like signature, like icing on the cake that I think I needed to just keep moving forward in my journey of like being me and being okay with being who I am.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's huge. As you said, it's just hair and it's true, right? It's just this thing that kind of lays on our head, but it does have such a big part of defining us, which is why I take my job so seriously, is that many of us, hide behind our hair. I'm one of those where I love the long hair because I like to hide behind it. Many people, it takes them away from looking like that boyish look that they don't want, or maybe there's someone who wants it. I mean, it truly changes that identity of a person, and it kind of punctuates, okay, now I feel comfortable with who I am. Absolutely. So, it was just like with the roots that people were having walking around, nobody was comfortable with that. They didn't feel like them anymore. And, you wake up in the morning and the first thing you look at it in the mirror is your face that is framed by your hair. So I definitely think that it's something that we all take a little too lightly. I know us hairstylists, we definitely don't. But I think many people don't give enough credit to how much their hair really does help them feel great in the morning when they start their day. So
I love it. And I think you touched on a few things. I think hair can be really defining. And, I think I have, had friends going through, transitions generally, or, going through different moments of like, I'm going to wear my natural hair and what does that feel like and do? So I'm sure you've experienced that of like people going through change and transitions in life. And like, how do you approach someone or go through that with someone?
I think it's most important to understand what it is that they're going through and what they want to come out with as the end result. And not just with their haircut or their color, but just in life in general. Like, what is it that you're going through? For instance, if it is a transgender change, what does that final look like for you? If it is a marital or a divorce change, even, the big life changes of, what do you want to say? Like when people see you, what do you want them to say about you? Who do you want to be? And I think it's really important for them to identify first who it is they are wanting to be at the end result, and then give them a look that suits
Do you
that.
think
So,
you're helping people figure out who they want to be? Like, do you think
oh,
that's happening in your chair?
all the time, all the time. And that's where I think that, I really don't take it lightly. I say
Oh,
that
that's
so
so
much.
cool and awesome and like super intimidating.
It is. It's
Like
it's funny
high
because
pressure.
I think of all the people who have come to me, and I just, had one woman come to me and got married, right? And you're there for their wedding days. That's a really intimate moment, is to be there while they're getting ready for the wedding, all the nerves, all the energy and the excitement, and that's huge to be asked to be a part of it. I was just asked to be a part of it for my niece's mom getting remarried. I love that. Like I get to be in sharing that special moment, and even when it comes to the sad moments of death, they still want to get their hair done before that big day or the funeral or anything, and they come to you. And so you really are helping them navigate whatever that emotion is that they're going through in that moment. And yeah, it is exciting to me. It's a little less intimidating, but it's exciting. And that's why I love what I do.
It's time for a quick break. Welcome back to Blunt Cuts. Here's the rest of the show. Is it ever hard to have the same conversation multiple times?
Oh, that's a great question right now.
That
is a really good question right now. Yeah, it's like, especially right now, but like when I got engaged, right? You have to share the same story over and over and over again. And it kind of actually does take away a little bit of that excitement. I know my husband will always say, it's like, he goes, are you even excited about that anymore? I go, yeah, it's just, I've told the story so many times.
I just play my phone and walk away because I recorded it now.
Or, when there's conversations you really don't want to have, you actually put a script together on how to end that conversation, right? Like, how can I weave my way out of this conversation so I don't go there? So yeah, I mean, it definitely puts you in some difficult circumstances as well as some mundane ones, but still nonetheless, it comes with the territory and it's usually fun. I think everybody has a different spin on your story too when they're in your chair. So it's kind of exciting to hear, their response to it. But yeah, it does get a little old and dry sometimes, but not too often.
And I suppose you've now built a clientele, but for those young hairstylists, listening and coming in, like, how do you navigate that? Like knowing people are going through so much change, and like, what if you give them something they don't like? Like, how do you deal with that? I know you and I sat for 6 hours one day trying to get silver gray because I thought, oh, I got this great. Was it before I cut my hair or not? I don't remember.
It was when we were trying to get something
different. So yeah, we tried silver gray and my hair won't lift. Like, it just won't bleach out properly.
And that's the challenge of new stylists trying to navigate this water, because you don't know your clients as well as I know my clients' hair after doing it for so many years. But, guaranteeing and having the confidence of knowing that you can fix it, you can make it better, and you're going to stand behind your work is going to be huge, and I've always done that. I've always stand behind my work. I will spend all day and night fixing it. So if it does go wrong, I'm here to help you.
It was like Smurf blue at one point, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, I could rock this. Like, can I rock this? And you're like, absolutely not. We're not leaving.
Christina, you can rock anything, but
you were like committed to get me back to a place of normalcy because you knew that.
It just wasn't. And that's what you have to do, is just be able to own it and confident enough to say, okay, I messed up. This is not going to work the way it does. Color in hair is not an exact science, so it's going to happen. And just being ready when it does happen to be able to say, okay, let's fix this. And
so you have to be best friend to everyone, scientist to make it all right. Like, the science behind it all is fascinating. And I think that that's the part that with color for me, even though I'm like, okay, I go dark black and it's seemingly all one black. But what we had to do is, like, I have a lot of natural red in my hair. So we had to kind of counteract that with like green and blue. Am I getting this right?
You got it right. Green. Yes.
Well, art major. So color wheel, I understand. So I'm like, that has to, counteract that. But I don't know. I can't buy that in a box. I can't buy that on the shelf to be like, also put a tinge of this in it. And I probably could if I like went and shopped where you all shop, but that's not what I'm interested in doing. And I appreciate that. Like, you've gotten to me to like, this is even black can be a challenge. And like that idea of all the science behind it is just kind of fascinating to me. So.
Oh, that's what I love about it too. Like I said, after this, I want to go become a chemical engineer, like just to navigate all of that they do to develop the color is fascinating. But there's a lot of science that goes into it, which is why, people are all over social media right now are like, here's Kim Kardashian going blonde and it happened in one sitting, and then they debunk that and say how it happened. And I think people are more fascinated with the science that goes into it, and especially more so where they
talk about that, like Instagram and that approach of people seeing things on TikTok or Instagram and like, oh, I'm going to come in with this picture and I want to be exactly this. Like, can we get it done in this 30 minutes? And I also talked for 15 of that 30 minutes or whatever. Like, realities check. Like, how does that happen? Like,
Well,
how
I'm
long
one
does
to
it take to
say,
go to, like, let's say unicorn hair, something that I'm
oh,
like seeing
yes.
everywhere right now? How long?
Yeah, what I always say, hey, you can get the looks you want, but it's going to come with a price tag. And
Yeah,
it's
there's
really, for
that
me,
too, right?
before I talk about the look you're going to achieve, let's talk about the budget you have in mind for this, because this look right here is going to cost you about $500. And that's just with 3 colors, not the 6. So, really bringing that expectation down a little bit and having them manage it by saying, hey, this is what this would really cost. And this is not even something we can do in one
Yeah.
day.
Or sky's the limit. Like, but you're not going to walk out of here today with
Today
that
with that.
because we
Absolutely.
didn't book 4 hours or however long it's going to take.
Oh yeah. So anytime you're trying to do a unicorn color, what I call fashion shades, fashion colors, it's going to take some time. I book a minimum of 3 hours for all those appointments. And that's with a consultation done beforehand. And that's a 30-minute consultation outside of that. And in those 3 hours, it really is dependent upon, like you and I, Christina, would never get that hair in even 3
I don't think
processes.
we can
I don't
ever
think
do
you
that.
could
This
ever
is
get
why
it.
we just do extensions of
Yeah,
other people's hair.
exactly. So, and it depends on your texture. Like I have dry, brittle texture. If I put bleach on that, it's going to fry. Like no matter how many times I try to do it, no matter how gentle, and I know I'm going to have hairstylists that challenge me on it. And I will say, hey, come on over, try it. It just doesn't lift because I love healthy hair. I don't want my hair fried.
Right.
So just like with you, we had to cut it because it was sizzled. It was very fried when the bleach hit it. And you can be as gentle as possible, but sometimes it's just not going to lift.
So how
But
do you have that conversation with somebody who like brings you a photo? Okay, so we talked about, okay, that takes too long and it's expensive. But if they're like, this is my new signature look, and you're like, this is not going to work on you, like, how do you get blunt with them, or do you just do what they ask?
oh gosh, no, I never do what they ask and pertain to that. I always do what they ask after we have a conversation. So I get them to
Mhm.
ask the question that I'm kind of feeding them to ask, if you will. So no, I'll never do to someone what I don't think is right. And I've saved myself many times with that by saying, hey, you are more than welcome to go anywhere else. I'll be here to fix it if you need me. I'll be here to coach you through it, but I won't do it if I don't feel comfortable. And I think that builds trust. Trust is a really important part of a relationship
Yeah,
established
I think
between a
so too.
client and a guest. Yeah. So, building that trust, I just won't do it. And I'll give them managed expectations of what they can do. And I like to use those pictures. Like I'm not against Instagram pictures at all. I love them. They're inspiration. But it's much like in the fashion world, when you have these beautiful storyboards put together of inspiration, I mean, it's not going to look
Well,
anything
it's
like that
very
photo.
photoshopped and retouched too. I mean,
Yeah.
I worked for the longest time being a fashion art director, but I also had to like retouch all the photos of celebrities and their lines and all the things, and like the list and the riders of like, this has to be changed, this has to be changed, like this celebrity needs these like 52 things changed in just their left side of their face. Like, believe me, there are those little things that like, yeah, there's a long list and pages and pages and pages of like photoshopping things that need to happen to make those photos right. So for whatever reason, people haven't embraced their like authentic selves, and in some spaces need to be photoshopped. So I think the accuracy of the actual photo, if it's real or how much has been edited, is another big thing, because we would boost colors up all the time,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we'd
And
fill
that's
in
what I
grays, we'd
share.
do all the things. Yeah.
I think nowadays that social media is everywhere, right? People know that. So they're more aware of, okay, I know it probably won't be as this enhanced, or it's not going to be as this bold or bright. So yeah, using those as inspiration and guideline has really helped me, kind of paint a picture with the clients of what I'm thinking and combining our images, to kind of share that one.
What if they
So
don't know? What if they come in and they're like, I need a change. Yeah, I'm going through this big life thing. I don't know.
I use the shock
Just do it.
factor. Whenever anyone tells me do whatever you want, I pick exact opposite of what I think they want. Like, okay, well then great. These unicorn colors are on trend right now. Let's put in this bold rainbow on your hair. We'll start the red here, the yellow here. And they look at you and they're like, Okay, maybe not that far. So it opens up the point of, okay, so you have boundaries.
Find your boundaries. Oh, that's
Okay,
cool.
yes.
Yeah.
So then once we get those boundaries defined, then my artsy side can come in and I get more creative, because at the end of the day, I can put on something that's gorgeous and stunning and beautiful, but if it doesn't really support what they want or looking for, they're going to hate it.
Yep.
So we have to define boundaries, we have to define expectations, and then once all that's said and done, I can give them my, professional recommendation of what I think. So,
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that for sure.
oh,
So, I
there's
mean,
definitely a ton.
what
Well, and
is the
Christina, what you
biggest
don't
thing?
realize
Yeah.
is while you're sitting in that chair, we're really pulling away your hair to see your face shape, to look into
Yeah.
your eyes, checking out what you're wearing. I mean, we're definitely checking you out from head to toe to see what kind of person you are, what kind of style you have, what kind of face shape you have, what features do we want to accentuate, what features maybe do we want to downplay, right? So we're definitely
Yeah,
always
and I have
looking.
such a long neck and face that I worried that like short hair on me was going to like just make me look creepy long. And it probably does, but I like it.
Oh, no, we found the boundary when we went really short,
Oh
right?
yeah, we did.
We
We did.
did.
And it was too short for me and I just did never felt like me. So yeah, but we did try a little shorter.
Yeah.
But then there are these days where I'm like, make me a pixie, and she's not quite letting me do that yet, but someday.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I want to know like the biggest lesson you feel you've learned that you could kind of pass on to our listeners about helping somebody find their style, or just even, your life as all this multifaceted things you have to wear while you're doing someone's hair.
Well, I love our industry because there's so many opportunities. And so I always tell people, take every opportunity that comes your way and go out and seek even more, whether it's in education, in building yourself up, business development, getting out into the models field and, doing platform work. Take every opportunity and do it, because you won't find what you love until you really find what you don't like. And so, doing all that has really made me have a clearer vision of what I see in the next half of my career, which is exciting. And so I can't wait to keep continuing to move forward and continue to grow. And just don't take yourself lightly. I think as a hairstylist, a lot of us have heard numerous times, oh, so what are you going to do when you're older? Or, what are you going to do after that? What are you going to do when you grow up?
Yeah, that
Essentially.
idea of like ageism in your industry
Oh, yeah.
applies.
And don't listen to it. Do not listen to it. And if you love what you do, keep finding the passion and the love of doing what you do, because I am more successful just because I love and it's rewarding work. So, success is defined to so many people by different things, and figure out what success is to you and let that define it for yourself, and then go on and do it and don't stop, and just continue to grow and evolve and get uncomfortable. Get really, really, really uncomfortable. Challenge
That was
yourself.
multidimensional, fabulous advice. And yeah, I echo that in my life. I think that I have said yes when I didn't know how to do most things in my career. And I just figure it out, and through trial or error or research or figuring it out quickly. But those have been the biggest growth opportunities of being uncomfortable and kind of sitting in it. And I think in our world today, yeah, we all need to be a little bit more comfortable to grow and to really learn each other and how this world works, and learn ourselves. So
Yeah, and just
great.
smile, right? Even through the
Yes,
mask right now,
yes.
just smile and love on people when they're in your chair, especially right now. Some of them, that's their only outing. And so take it as seriously a gift, and just enjoy them as much as they should enjoy you, and they'll keep coming back more.
Well, and my apologies, because you were my first person that I saw out of my house. So you were like my re-entry. So there's this period I'm going through of like talking to real humans in person of re-entry, and I'm just the weirdest. And I am already quirky enough, so there's that. But like there's this re-entry me that's so I'm
Well,
so
I thank
sorry.
you
So
for that,
there you
because
go.
you know what? That was my re-entry too. And so when we're both trying to put sentences
Like,
together, it feels a lot
no,
better.
words. I used to know I can't type it and have autocorrect. Oh my God, could you imagine if there was an autocorrect for the things we say?
I would be corrected way too often.
Well,
Oh,
thanks for hanging out with me,
hey,
Mel.
thanks for having me. As always, it's been great to see your face
And
and hear
where can
you.
people find you? But they can't take my appointments. So
Of course not. You always have priority. So I am actually at the Lakeville Life Spa here, and I am on Instagram as Stylist Life Mel. So spelled all the same, Stylist Life and Mel, MEL. And I would love, I love doing everything, especially color, but extensions are definitely my jam, and changing everyone's look. So if you're ever looking for a big change and overhaul, I'm your girl. So
Well, I am so thankful for you and thank you for being here.
thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's continue the conversation on Instagram. You can find us at Blunt Cuts Podcast. Blunt Cuts is a production of Matriarch Digital Media. Executive producer Twyla Dang. Edited by Beth K. Gibbs. Production assistant Mia Register. You can find more great podcasts from Matriarch Digital Media at matriarchdm.com.